Lesson 16, managing assistants in your rental business. Because part of the goal of what we're doing here is you get to the point where you have more freedom, that you have other individuals assisting you with your business. Here's one suggestion. Give assistants their most important numbers, used in either of the next two that I haven't put up there yet. What do I mean by that? I said to you earlier, when I'm hiring individuals now and paying them by the hour, I already know ahead of time what tasks, what things I want them to do. Everybody remember that? Well, one of the tasks might be, I often say that for me, filling vacancies is a top priority. I have discovered over the last few years that for me to keep my properties filled, I need to get at least 5 applications each week. And from those 5 applications, which would be 20 in a month, if I've got 1 or 2 vacancies that come available that month, I will be able to fill them. So, when I'm talking about an important number, that's one of the most important numbers for my assistant, which is we need to get at least 5 applications, which means we need to make sure that we are doing whatever is needed to generate those applications. Is everybody with me on this? In other words, sometimes when you're giving somebody a list of tasks, it's easy not to focus on which tasks are more important than others. If you're managing an assistant or managing a partner, you're working together as a team. Maybe you and your spouse are doing this as a team. My suggestion is you both should know what are considered your most important tasks. So if nothing else gets done that week, that gets done. Does that make sense what I'm sharing? If nothing else gets done that day, that gets done. For example, the maintenance individuals that I have, unless there's an emergency, they're to make sure that I like the number 5 in these cases, they're to make sure that they take care of at least 5 service requests each day, unless there's none to do. But if there's more than 5, I want you to make sure you do at least 5. Now, the numbers may vary for you. Please don't get bogged down with my numbers. I just want you, once you identify what the tasks are, know what the most important are, but then give a number to that most important. Everybody with me on that? It makes our communication work out a whole lot better. And again, even if you're not using an assistant, I think you should have a most important number for yourself. What is your priorities? What things do I need to make sure get done this week? Because you can get to doing a lot of stuff, but if you're not doing the most significant stuff that's moving your business forward, that's helping you reach the goals that you set way back in lesson 1, or the goals that you have under each category, then you're not getting anywhere. So many people are doing stuff, but they're not doing the most important stuff. And that's the point that I'm trying to make, especially if you're working with other people. Now, there's different ways to manage assistants. Some is, what are the tasks based on daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly? In other words, you break down the tasks, whether they're doing something part-time or full-time. Are you giving them something based on what they do in a week, what they do in a month, here's what I need you to do this quarter. Here's what I need you to do this month. Here's what I need you to do this week. Or here's what I need you to do every day. Whatever it is, it's clear. I want you to do things, and you're doing it based on one of these calendar categories. So when you go to see if they've accomplished the goal, what are you looking at? Did you accomplish it for the quarter, for the month, for this week? Or you can manage by task, often used by landlords in early stages. In other words, I'm getting your assistance for this particular task. You accomplish that task, we're good. Here's what I'm going to pay you for. You accomplish these limited tasks. That's why I said you don't have to wait till somebody gets to you want to have somebody full time. You can start delegating little things and say, in fact, I said to you a little bit earlier, get a list of all the tasks that you have to do as a rental property owner that you're doing. Break it all down. And then start getting people to do little tasks that you don't like to do, that you're not good at, so you can free yourself up to do some of the other more significant things to keep the vision going for your business. Just giving you examples of how you can manage others and your business. Manage by performance. If people hit certain goals, I say you should recognize and show appreciation. So, if they reach the goals that you have, you give them. In other words, let's give an example. One of my assistant, we had several people who, during COVID, got behind in rent. Initially, I wanted to make sure that we got our money. So instead of waiting on them to contact whoever, I said to my assistant, if you go ahead and contact and do what's necessary to help get the money, I'll give you a $100 bonus on anybody that was behind by over $2,000 or $3,000. What did that do? That encouraged her to make sure she did all the paperwork necessary so that it would happen. I was managing by performance. I gave bonus based on hitting certain goals. Everybody with me? Utilize property management software. We already gave some examples earlier in the day. Buildium, Appfolio, Property Manager Cloud. Anybody wanted to share any others? The reason I bring this up at this point, if you're working with other people, to me it's good to be able to monitor what's going on from a distance. And I can see things on the software dashboard that tells me how I'm performing, how they're performing. So I like utilizing software as part of the overall management of other people. I can see how many work orders we have currently on our property at any given time. How many completed work orders we have. How many in progress. I can see our vacancy. If we have a vacancy, I can see it on the software. I can see when anniversary dates are coming up. I can see the different things at a glance. So software helps me manage my business. Any questions on any of that? Yes.
What software do you prefer?
Well, I use Property Manager Cloud. Not that it's better than the others. It's just the one that I started using about 5 years ago, and it works extremely well for me. Does all the basics. Doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Appfolio or Buildium has, but it works well for me.